So you want to be a safety guy, huh?
That's terrifying.
How to answer that question? So if you want to be a safety guy, you know, I guess it takes a, I'd like to say it takes a special person, but it does take some finesse, which I always struggle with, right? And it's like, well, you know, anybody can be a truck driver. Yeah, no. Truck drivers tell you, if somebody wants to be a truck driver, it does take a special type of person to be a truck driver. There's a lot more to it than just driving, right? You have all the weight restrictions, you have your ELDs, you got DOT, you got, you know, how long can you drive for, sleep for, you got to stay awake, you got to stay focused because everything going on, da 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 da. And I guess, you know, being a safety guy, you got to kind of do the same thing. All right, so you want to be a safety guy. So the first couple things you definitely are going to need. Take your OSHA 30 1910 for general industries, and take your OSHA 30 1926 for construction. So get that stuff under your belt to start with. The second thing is experience. Some people are looking for just a safety guy to say that we have a safety guy. There are some people that they want a little more than just a safety tech running around saying what they're doing wrong. So that's the other thing. Then you have to learn how to balance between the owner of whoever, the boss, the employer, and what the law says, because a lot of times the employer doesn't want to, let me rephrase that, sometimes he doesn't want to, but sometimes he can't afford to do it right. So you do have that aspect. So you have to sell the safety item or what you want to accomplish to the owner to try to get buy-in. Say, you know, I know it costs, you know, $10,000 to do this, but I'm trying to save you $100,000 worth of injuries or fines and stuff. So I'm actually trying to save you like $80,000. So if we can figure out how to get that done, then I'm trying to do, because safety is not only just safety for the employees, it's also to protect the employer. So you need to get that underneath your belt. So you do need to get experience. And the whole idea of thinking that you're some kind of enforcement officer, some of the young guys that get involved with safety, they think that there's some kind of, you know, some kind of cop or something like that. You might as well forget that idea, because if you come across like you have the hammer, now in some cases you do have to be the hammer, but that's with the experience, and you find out when you need to do that. But when you're a new guy, you think that, you know, I am going to make you do this, and I'm going to make sure that you're doing this right, etc. You can't do that, and you'll learn that with time. You need to settle down and try to be flexible until you get the experience, until you learn when it's time to drop the hammer, and when time it's, you know, you're going to find yourself, you'll have to stand your ground, and you truly have to believe in safety. Safety is not just a one-time thing, it's an all-time thing. And you probably heard that before. You have to set the example, just like you would if you were a firefighter, a cop, or anything like that. You have to set the example and make sure that you follow safety stuff, and they watch you. So even like on your own time, you have to make sure that you don't get a speeding ticket, you're not smoking dope, you're not drinking, you know, you're not getting DUIs. You actually have to set an example even on your private time, good Lord. And because the guys will hear about it, and they will find out, and they will talk about you. And don't be afraid to share your own experiences with the guys, saying, hey, I was doing this, and just like me, I thought I was doing everything right. I was trying to be careful. I was checking, I was wearing my safety glasses, and I was doing everything I thought was right when I was using an air nailer. And I didn't know that the nail was actually going to deflect off the wood, go airborne, and lawn dart my hand about 2.5 inches deep. But my hand was in the line of fire, even though that it was back, it was a foot. Actually, it was 18 inches from the nail gun, and the nail didn't go into the wood. It actually ricocheted off the face of the 2x4 I was trying to toenail into, and it flew 18 inches and stuck me in the hand. So, but being a safety guy, you need to have that. So you need to get some education. So get your OSHA 30 stuff out of the way. You need to get experience, and you may have to take a low-paying, shitty job. So if you're getting 15, 25 bucks an hour, you need to start low and work your way up. And then after a while, then you keep moving up. You get, become like a master safety technician. You'll start getting more experience. You get a lot more education as you go along. Somebody will, hey, do you want to go to your RICOR class and learn about, your hazardous waste? Take every single class that the company's willing to pay for. Take it. That way you can have it underneath your belt. I actually have a separate wallet for all my certs because my wallet is so thick that there's no way that I could actually sit on it. So I carry a training wallet that has all my certs in it, and it goes anything from driving a forklift to the shooting range to being an EMT to getting I had some like law enforcement type training, anything that you get a hold of, make sure that you keep it. So being a safety guy, you need a lot of stuff. Now you may find that it sucks and you may not be able to do it, right? You're getting tired of arguing with the employees, the workers in the field, and there's some that are worse than others. Sometimes you'll come across, I pick on the welder guys, sometimes the welders, they like doing their own thing and nobody telling them otherwise. If they're not following the rules, you got to remind them a couple of times. Don't be afraid to ask the owner. Say, look, I want to be kind of strict on these guys. How strict do you want me to be? Because they're not following safety rules, and I've reminded them twice. How do you want me to handle it? Do I have the ability to write them up? Do I just take notes and just keep informing you every day? Do I tell just the foreman? Do you want me to tell you about it? Do you want me to kick them off site? What flexibility or what do you want me to do? And that's the other thing. If you're a safety guy, you keep every freaking note you can. I make sure that I write down everything. I write down conversations that I've had with owners and employers and supervisors. You got to cover your own ass. And that's what happens sometimes. Because here's what it is. So safety is the last guy that's ever hired, and he's the first one fired. So if something happens, you're the first one that's going to be fired. You need to make sure that you have everything that covers your own butt, right? That way, if something happens, you can say, hey, back on July 21st, I told the owner or supervisor or whoever my boss is, I notified him on this day and this day and this day that that valve was leaking and it could cause a fire or it could cause somebody to get injured. And when I told him, I got no response. And then when I brought it up in person, he said, we're working on it. So I have proof that I tried to do my best. Will it get your job back? No. If they fire you because of safety, something happened, depends on what state you're in, you're not getting your job back. But it'll cover your ass if OSHA fines start coming up, and God forbid that somebody actually got hurt. Now, when the civil suits start happening, then you got proof. Now, if you got proof that you told your employer or supervisor, when those suits start happening, they're going to cut you free because now you provided information, and now it's going to turn into a willful neglect, and that lawsuit's is now going to be tripled. So you need to cover your own ass. But the best thing to do is when you're dealing with people, try to be friendly. But I can tell you right now, if you think that you're going to be a safety guy, you're not going to have any friends. They're going to hate you. Try to be as civil as you can, and don't try to be their friends. Because if you try to be friendly with somebody, then somebody else that you just got through saying, hey, you can't wear your hard hat backwards, or you got to wear your safety hat. Well, I see that you're cutting him a lot of slack because you guys are friends and you guys went out to dinner and you guys did this and you're barbecuing together and da-da-da-da-da. Being a safety guy is a lonely job, but you truly have to believe in safety. It has to be your passion. If you really want to keep somebody from chopping their fingers off or getting killed on the job so everybody can go home every day, and you truly believe in it, that's what you're in it for. If you truly believe in it, then maybe you could be a safety guy. If you're one of those guys that, well, I just want to be a safety guy so I can make a bunch of money and da-da-da-da. Well, first off, you're probably not going to make a lot of money. Second of all, you are not going to have none of those guys are going to be friends. So you might as well forget that part. And some safety guys out there chase the money. They go from shutdown to shutdown, turnarounds. If you are willing to travel, Tennessee welcomes you. Hello, Iowa. Good morning, Illinois. Welcome to Arkansas. And you work really hard for 8 months out of the year, you can easily make over 6 figures and pocket that money. Now, if you're careful, you can make some good money. Hopefully you don't get a bad reputation. It's a challenge working on shutdowns and stuff like that, because on shutdowns and turnarounds, you may have 1,000 people and you're trying to watch everybody, and you have people get hurt because people are in a hurry, they're cutting corners. It's brutal. I think the most hours I've worked in a 7-day stretch was 102 hours. You shouldn't be doing that. Obviously I wouldn't do that now. That was back in my younger days. But I think the most I've ever worked in 7 days was 102 hours. I've worked, a lot of 90 hours. We weren't supposed to break 100 hours in 7 days, but we came close. But there was times that I've came home so tired that, you come home 10 or 11 o'clock at night, you try to shit, shower, and shave, and you wake up at 3 a.m. and you got to go back to the job. So sometimes, working 18 hours a day, that's pretty brutal. In some of those cases, working, I don't know, back in the fire days, of course, you can work 3 days without even sleeping because you're out fighting a fire or you're on a structure strike team. Just don't get, if you get burned out, you get burned out, and that's just the way it goes. It's almost like, oh, I love being a safety guy. And then after 5 years, you're like, screw this, I hate working those hours. If you're willing to do all that and you truly believe in it, be a safety guy. Thanks for watching Rogue M4. Like the video, leave some comments down below. Hey, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I need more subscribers. Hit the subscribe button. Share it with the other safety guys that you're out there. And if any safety guys out there, if you got comments, feel free to share them. Anyways, thanks again for watching Rogue M4, and I hope you have a great day.